You check your phone before you're even fully awake. A college friend just got promoted. Another just closed on a house. Someone from high school just posted a second kid, a new car, a vacation you couldn't afford right now if you tried. And you're sitting exactly where you were a year ago. Same job, same apartment, same bank balance, give or take. You tell yourself it's laziness, lack of ambition, some flaw in your character that everyone else somehow got skipped over. Wrong. There's a specific psychological mechanism running underneath that feeling. And once you see the shape of it, you stop mistaking it for a verdict on who you are. Here's the setup. Your brain isn't built to judge your life in absolute terms. It judges it relative to the nearest visible marker. Psychologists call this the reference point problem. Humans don't ask, am I doing well? They ask, am I doing well compared to that person? Right there, who I just saw. It's efficient. It's fast. It's also almost never accurate, because the marker you're using isn't a full life. It's a highlight reel. Curated, filtered, timed for maximum impact, uploaded on someone's best day. You are comparing your entire, messy, unedited timeline. The missed rent payments, the interviews that went nowhere, the nights you lay awake wondering if you're wasting your 20s, against somebody else's greatest hits montage. That's not a fair fight. That was never a fair fight. And here's the part that makes it worse. The person who looks ahead of you on your feed is doing the exact same thing, measuring themselves against someone further ahead, someone with more, someone who looks like they've got it figured out. Nobody feels caught up. Not the guy with the promotion, not the guy with the house. It's a ladder with no top rung, and everyone standing on it feels exactly like you do right now, behind. So if everyone feels behind isn't a location, it's a lens, and you can put it down. Let's look at what actually happened to people who, at your age, would have failed every version of this comparison. Vera Wang spent 15 years at Vogue. She became one of the youngest fashion editors in the magazine's history at 23, and then she waited through promotions that went to other people, waited through being passed over for editor-in-chief, the job she'd spent nearly 2 decades positioning herself for. If you'd measured Vera Wang against her peers at 38, 39, even the year she turned 40, you'd have called her stalled, stuck in a role she'd outgrown, with nothing to show for the wait. She designed her first dress at 40, not because she suddenly discovered talent she didn't have before, she'd had it the whole time. She designed it because her own wedding forced the question, why does bridal fashion look like this, and why hasn't anyone fixed it? The frustration became the business. The business became one of the most recognized names in the industry. None of it was visible at 39. All of it was already loading. Samuel L. Jackson's story is harder and more honest. At 43, he was an unknown stage actor in New York, still carrying an addiction he hadn't yet confronted. His own family found him unconscious. That's not a highlight reel moment. That's the kind of low point people usually cut from the story entirely. He went to rehab, and 2 weeks after coming out, he stepped onto the set of Jungle Fever to play a character whose addiction mirrored his own. Critics called it the most electric performance in the film. 3 years later, at 46, Pulp Fiction made him a star. If you'd built a spreadsheet ranking successful actors by age 43, Jackson wouldn't have made the list. The data would have said he was behind, maybe permanently. The data would have been measuring the wrong moment. This is the pattern, and it holds every time you look closely. The timeline you're measuring yourself against was assembled after the fact, backwards, by people who don't remember or don't publicize how uncertain, how stuck, how behind they felt in the middle of their own story. Nobody posts the years that don't resolve yet. They post the resolution. You're comparing your unresolved middle to everyone else's edited ending and calling the mismatch a personal failure. Here's the reframe, and it's not a slogan. It's a correction to a flawed measurement. Compare yourself to your own last month, not someone else's this month. That's the only comparison built on matching units. Everything else is comparing a chapter to a finished book. And remember this the next time a highlight reel lands in your feed. Every overnight success story you admire had a boring, invisible middle nobody filmed. Vera Wang's 15 years at Vogue. Samuel L. Jackson's decade of small roles and private struggle. You are living inside somebody else's boring middle right now. It's just not public yet. That doesn't make it less real. It makes it exactly on schedule. Your schedule, the only one that was ever actually yours to run. Stop auditing your life against a chart that was never real to begin with. Build the chapter you're actually in. That's the only chapter you have any control over, and it's the only one that counts. Comment, I choose the standard if you're done measuring your life against everyone else's highlight reel.